This is the Decathlon Quechua 2 seconds fresh and black two-person tent. In this video we will be looking at cost, components, pitching, features, pros and cons, and a whole lot more. Now if you purchase this tent, everything you get comes in this really well-made round storage bag. The storage bag itself is actually made out of polyester. On the top it has a handle, so it makes carrying the storage bag much easier. It also has a compression strap on the back to keep everything nice and tight. It then has a side zip, which is about 3/4 length, which makes getting everything out and then back in the storage bag nice and easy. Now, when it comes to the length of the storage bag, that comes in at around 25 inches and the width comes in at around 26 inches. The packed weight of the storage bag, so this storage bag plus your tent and everything you get inside, comes in at around 4 kilograms. And then lastly, on the front, you do get a picture of the tent and it just gives you a few specs of this tent. Now in your storage bag, you obviously get the tent itself, and then inside the storage bag, you actually get this little leaflet which is attached to the storage bag, which tells you how to pitch this tent correctly and then also how to collapse it at the end. Underneath, you get a double-ended Velcro storage pouch, which houses 10 aluminium ground pegs on one side and 5 nylon guy lines on the other. Pitching this tent is child's play. All you have to do is undo the yellow strap at the front and the tent will slowly start pitching up. You've then got to undo the 2 orange clips at the bottom. The tent will pop up a little bit more, and then finally there's one more blue clip which you undo so the tent can fully pop up. When you've done that, all you've got to do is put in your ground pegs and your guy lines. Now I'm going to be using a footprint, as I always do with all my tents, just to protect the base of them. All I've got to do now is get the ground pegs in and the guy lines in, and then I'll bring you back. So this tent currently here in the UK will cost you £99.99. Now it only comes in this one colour, which is classed as an ultra white colour. When it comes to the outer fabric of this tent, it's made from a polyester. It does have a UV protection on it to help protect it from the sun. Now it has a hydrostatic head rating of 2000 millimeters, so it's more than waterproof. Also, all the stitching on this tent is double stitched and it also has been tape sealed, so it's more than waterproof. Now Decathlon do test all their tents. This tent has been subject to 200 liters of water an hour over a 3-hour period. Now going online and looking at a lot of other reviews, no one seems to have had any issues with waterproofing with this tent. This tent also performs really well in the wind. This tent has been tested up to 30 miles per hour and it's absolutely fine. Once again, Decathlon do test all their tents. They actually test them in a wind tunnel. They actually put them on a turntable so the tents get hit from all angles. And as I say, once again, going back to reviews online and from personal experience, this tent has been absolutely fine when it's been subject to the wind. Now, as it's sort of like a tunnel tent in a way, if it does rain, the rain will just simply run straight off the sides. Now this tent does have quite a lot of ventilation, which is good because it helps with aid in airflow, but also helps reduce any condensation. Now I'm just going to show you this side of the tent, but whatever I show you this side is exactly the same at the other side. Now they do have these panels that come out, and if we come round here, underneath this panel you can see a mesh window which goes through into the tent, which is going to aid airflow. Now these can be closed just by simply sliding this bar across, and this will just simply shut down. So let's just open that up again. Right, now coming around the front of the tent here, you have the outer door, where the zip to the outer door is covered with a storm flap. So when you've also undone this outer door, it can be rolled and toggled back. I'm going to do that now so we can have a closer look at the inside of the tent. This inner door is also made out of polyester. It actually has a mesh window at the top, which once again is going to help aid with airflow and also then in turn help reduce any condensation. Now, this internal door can be rolled and toggled back, which is what I'm going to do now so we can have a good look inside this tent. When it comes to the floor of this tent, it is a bathtub style floor. It is made out of a polyurethane and it has a hydrostatic head rating of 2,400 millimeters. Now, all the seams on this floor of this tent have been double stitched and they've also been tape sealed, so completely waterproof. Now, when it comes to the internal size of this tent, the length comes in at around 210 centimeters, the width comes in at 120 centimeters, and then the height at the highest point comes in at around 98 centimeters. The roof does start slanting down at the back, and that measures at around 85 or so centimeters. Now, inside you can see that it is black. This is Decathlon's Fresh and Black Blackout. Now, this has been designed for two reasons. One, when you're in the tent at night, it will knock out probably about 95% of the light. That's what Decathlon say, to help you get a better night's sleep. But also in the summertime, it helps keep this tent nice and cool. Right, I'm going to get in this tent and show you a bit more inside this tent. Now, in the tent here, starting with ventilation, if I just show you this side, you have a ventilation panel here, which lets in a nice bit of airflow. Now, you can open this up all the way, and then you've got a mesh window there, and you can see outside. Now, you also have the option of opening the mesh panel, and that drops down, so you've actually got nothing there at all, so you can completely look outside of the tent. But obviously, if it's a warm day or in the evening, I'd keep that mesh panel up because it's going to stop any insects from getting in. Now, you have exactly the same mesh panel behind me. You then have 4 pockets, storage pockets. You have 2 this side, and then you have another 2 the other side. You then have 2 more mesh panels to let in a nice little bit of airflow, and also then in turn help reduce condensation, which are in the back here. Now, in a minute, I am going to show you how you can raise the outer up to, especially if it's not raining, to let in max airflow. Actually, what you do is you have 2 cords, one each side, one there and one here. And when you pull them, the back of the tent will raise up, and then you can see completely out the tent, and as I say, have max airflow. You also in the tent have a little lamp hook, so you can hang your little lamp. Other than that, the ceiling of the tent does sag down a little bit, but it's not too bad. If I sit up at the front here with a baseball cap on, my head is nearly touching the tent. I've probably got about that much room. Now, obviously, when you're sitting on a sleeping mat, you are going to get a little bit closer to the ceiling. Decathlon do actually say to not use oversized sleeping mats in this tent, because obviously it's then going to reduce the space, but also in turn that could aid with condensation. Other than that, this is the tent. It's a nice tent. It is classed as a 2-person tent. For me, it's a bit small for a 2-person tent. It's a nice size for 1 person, but if you are sharing this tent, unless it's with a child or a dog, I think for 2 people, as I say, it's just going to be too small. But let me show you how the ventilation system works at the back, and then I'll give you a little bit more information on this. Now, at the back of the tent, you do have another little mesh window to, I don't know if you can see there, that you can get some more airflow in. But as I said, inside the tent, you've got 2 blue cords that if you pull, this whole back will raise up, and then you can get max ventilation in. That's something you could use during the day if it's a nice day, or if it's not raining at night and you wanted a lot of airflow in your tent, you could do that as well. All you need to do is unclip this, and then if you stay around there and watch the back, I'll go and pull it up at the front so you can see how it works. There you go. And that goes like that. And that will give you maximum airflow if you wish. And obviously, once again, It does have a mesh window, so you won't get any bugs coming into this tent. So a few more things to discuss with this tent. First of all, you get a 5-year warranty with this tent, which I think is great. So any problems, you can just take it straight back to Decathlon. Decathlon also offer a spare and repair service. So if you need a spare part for this tent or you need it repaired, just pop it into one of your local Decathlon stores. Now this tent, I would say, is a 2/3 season tent. I think this tent's going to perform best in the spring, the summer and the autumn. I wouldn't use this tent in the winter months. Now, who is this tent designed for? Well, anyone really. You could do some wild camping in this tent. You could use this tent at a campsite. You could camp in the garden with the kids, or this would make a great festival tent as well. Would I use this tent for backpacking? No, for 2 reasons. One, you saw the storage case at the start of this video. It's simply too big, and that strap to your backpack would look like you're carrying a satellite dish round. Also, the packed weight of this tent is 4 kilograms, so it's too heavy. But I think if you're going to be in the car or you haven't got a long way to walk, sure, you could use this tent. Now, is it worth the price? £99.99. For me, I think it's worth every penny. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. And I know some people will be saying in the comments, well, what about this or what about that? No tent is ever perfect. I have Helleberg tents that cost over £1,000 and they're not perfect. But I think for the money, I think, as I say, this is worth every penny. But let me know what you think about this little tent, and is it a tent that you perhaps already own, or perhaps it's a tent that you would consider buying. But other than that, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button for me. If you're enjoying the channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to get involved in the comment section below. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.